how do we understand self-sovereignty? So you say that suppose there is a kingdom, and in that kingdom, what is the natural order of things? The natural order of things is that the king would give directions and the subjects and the ministers would carry out those directions. But let's say the ministers and the army, yes, they take over the kingdom, and then what happens? The king follows their orders, and this is kind of a, this is an imperfect situation. And Baba tells us that the original design of the universe was such that the soul was meant to give orders to the organs, sense organs, and whether it is the subtle organs, the mind, the buddhi, or the sanskars, or it is the physical organs, the eyes, the nose, the ears, the skin. So the soul was meant to, give directions, give orders to these organs and sense organs so that the soul could carry out its part, its business in this world. So, the soul was Sato Pradhan, the soul was pure, and in Satyug, the soul told, the body what to eat, how much to eat. So the soul was the one telling the mouth how much to eat, what to eat, or the hands what to pick, or the mind what to think, or the buddhi what decision to take. So it was all inside out. But now what has it become? Now it is the sense organs and the mind and the buddhi dictating, the soul what to do, so, or how to be. So the whole Rajya, the whole kingdom has been toppled over. And you see that we know from knowledge that the soul takes 84 births, and when we hit the copper age, so from there onwards we start losing our power. And what is the soul's power? The soul's power is truth, purity, peace, love, joy, bliss, power. So knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, power. These are the qualities of the soul, and they start getting eroded from copper age. And then what happens? We start feeling empty inside. And that is when, Maya cheats us that you will get all these through sensual pleasure. And that is when, the body starts, or the sense organs start becoming a master. So you see that these days you feel that if you watched a lot of reels or movies or series or whatever, or there are other stuff also people are watching, full of lust and violence and this and that, and we are made to magically believe by Maya that if you filled all this into your eyes, then somewhere, your happiness level will rise, or, you will start feeling better. So that's why we are running after it. So everybody thinks that, these, when we source something from the senses, probably the soul, the requirement of the soul for joy or bliss or peace, that will start getting satisfied. And this is how the senses are cheating us. And the more and more you give into the pull of the eyes, what is happening? I have seen people, there's this brother, he told me that he watched so much of content on the phone at night that now his eyes do not close. So, his eyes have become such that he cannot close his eyes for long. And the whole, that regulation of fluid in the eyes has gone all haywire, and he cannot close the eyes when he wants, he cannot keep it open for long. So, there are many kinds of problems with the eyes. And he was in a really miserable state, and you see that people are going through these cases also. Why? Because we don't understand that you cannot devour everything with the eyes and quench the thirst of the soul, but that's how Maya is attracting us. And you see that there are two weapons of Maya: attraction and fear. And today Baba is pointing out more about attraction. So you see that Maya is trying to tell us, attract us into these sense pleasures, and Maya is telling us that if you engaged in this more and more, then probably that which is needed by the soul will start getting fulfilled. I will tell you something. So, these days, I don't know if these days, everything that is extreme has become normal. And I remember this my sister, she visited me some days back, and she said that I was not well, and then I lost someone dear, someone who was very near and dear, and then I was not in a good state of mind, and then somebody gave me a medicine, which is a medicine for depression. And when I ate that, so just half of it I ate. She gave me the name also. I don't want to give the name here, but she said that I ate half of it, and then when I ate half of it, everything looked better, and I felt like, she said, maza hi aa gaya. So she said ki I felt like everything is sorted and everything has started feeling better. And then she said that I used to have these palpitations and trembling, and she's 60 years old, and she said that I had many problems, and then because I lost that person, so I was also having some tension in the mind. So I started feeling better. And then she said that that person had given me 6 tablets, and I every time I felt low, I just felt that half a tablet and I'll get better. And I started taking it, and she said in 3 days I was an addict. And she said I had massive addiction of this medicine. And she said that the only thought I could create was, just take it and you will feel better. And then I started having the fear of how when the effect of this medicine subsides, I feel the complete opposite. I don't feel good at all. So I don't want to feel like that. So I felt like I could take 3-4 in a day, and I could just be high all day, and then whenever I felt low, I would just take it. And what if I died early also? That's okay. So I started feeling like that. And she said, I and my husband are the only people in the family, because children have moved out and we are staying alone. So it was not a big deal because my husband is also mostly ill, so he cannot take care of me. So I felt that this is a very good way, and I had become an addict, and it has taken me a lot of time to get over it. So she was sharing this experience, and you see, these days, these attractions, you see this, you eat this, you drink this, it'll suddenly make you feel better. Somebody will tell you that you eat chocolates and your mood will get uplifted, and then you eat one chocolate, two chocolate, three chocolates, and then all three meals you're eating chocolate, chocolate, chocolate. So all of this is happening because you see that these days the attraction is so much, and then the attraction, Maya pulls us, Maya pulls people into so many kinds of attractions, and all of, and the whole commerce industry, the whole business, the business runs when the business is successful, when they are able to tell you that something that you do with the senses is going to give you inner joy, inner, bliss and inner peace. And so you see that everybody is marketing their product like something that will give you inner peace, inner happiness, and inner bliss. And even if people are trying to sell a mattress, they will tell you that, when you sleep on this, you will have the best sleep of your life or something. And then we will take it back if it doesn't give you that kind of sleep. Or you see that people are telling you that if you take this treatment, your skin looks better, or you will have more self-worth. So you will feel more valued and you will feel more worthy if you undertook this course or that course, or you went to for this treatment or that treatment. And then people are selling all these bathing products and everything. So everything is being camouflaged, or people are saying if you wore diamonds and if you wore this platinum or something, then it'll add value to you and you will start feeling better about yourself. So everything is being done to, so everybody is talking about peace and happiness and bliss and joy and stuff, and they are telling you that if you did something on the external, it's going to give you all of that. Yes, and then what is it? Everything is an addiction, and an expensive addiction. Some things cost you money, something cost you whole spiritual power, some things cost you physical, losing physical strength, some things cost you something else. So you are paying heavily under the illusion that maybe this thing will give me what I need: self-worth, peace, happiness, joy, and other stuff. But Baba tells us that you are a self-sovereign, and if you just sit in soul consciousness and turn your attention to me, I am the ocean, I will give you all that you need. And Baba says that if you studied my Murli and you followed my directions, which which are the Shrimat. Shrimat means the directions that make you elevated. So Baba says if you did all of that, then you will be restored to your spiritual strength. So if you practiced purity, if you remembered me, if you did seva, if you followed what to remember, if you followed how to see everything, if you followed, using the point of drama to apply a full stop, if you started perceiving everyone as a soul, so that is how you will be restored to your peace and purity and dignity. So Baba says that is the method that, every time you feel empty, your senses will only cheat you. They will create the illusion that we will give you what you need. But don't fall into that trap. Just turn your attention to me, turn your attention to my Shrimat, and just in that connection with me and in following whatever I tell you to do, you will start being full. So this is what Baba tells us. And the more we do that, so if we just did that, which is listen to Baba's Murli and follow his directions, and every time in the morning, early morning at least, turn your attention to Baba and know that He is the ocean of love, ocean of peace, ocean of joy, and He's giving you that in the form of light. And just try to soak that light and might into yourself. And every time, keep recharging yourself by turning your attention to Baba whenever you take a break from something. So, take a mental break from something, turn your attention to Baba and recharge yourself. So Baba says, if you keep doing that, then you will become a self-sovereign. And what is a self-sovereign? A soul who is full inside and who is not giving into the temptations and fears that Maya tries to lure us into in the old world. So you become like that, and then you become safe from the attractions and from the pull of attractions and fears of Maya. So you see that Baba says today you will stay safe. Now, what is safety? So you see that you will save from being any kind of an addict. Yes, you will stay safe from any kind of addiction, and that is, I think, the biggest safety. These days people have addictions of everything. People have addictions of food, drinks, the phone. They have addictions of medicines. They have addictions of so many things these days. And Baba says that you will, and there are other addictions, shopping. So, people are just shopping recklessly so that they feel better. Retail therapy, they call these days. And, these are addictions. So, Baba says, you will stay safe from any kind of addiction. And you will know that you are a full soul, and whatever is tempting you. So, I remember that, there was this one brother, and he said that I was feeling really low, and then my friends told me that if you took this drug, just whatever they were, they were sniffing or something, they said, you take this and you will start feeling better. And he said, I did that, and then now I'm an addict. And you see that people are giving into these temptations because you feel that, maybe I will feel better if I did that. But why do you fall into that temptation? Because you're not feeling well inside. But if you're a self-sovereign, you create your own happiness. You know that if I'm not feeling happy, if I'm not feeling peaceful, if I'm feeling disturbed, if I'm feeling worried, what do? I turn my attention to Baba, sit in silence and take that energy from Baba and stabilize myself. There is no other method. So you don't fall into the trap of these things, or some astrologer will come and tell you that I will give you the method to change your destiny. So you don't fall into those attractions also, or you buy this stone or this stuff and then that will change your destiny, because you are okay within yourself. When you are in low energy, everything starts attracting you, and then you start falling into that attraction. And I remember, there was this one girl, and when I joined office, at that time she was my colleague, and she had been trying to get married for a long time. And because there is this conditioning that marriage is very important, and you must get married and should get married, and some hell will break loose if you don't get married. So there was this whole conditioning inside her, and she had been trying to get married, and it had almost reached desperation. And at that time there was this boy in the in that same circle, and that boy had this vision, which was, he had this horse like vision. He could only see this much, so he couldn't see here and here, so his vision was impaired. And this girl fell for this boy, and she went out with him, she spent time with him, but she could never see that there is a problem with the vision. Why? Because she was blinded by that desperation. And this boy also never told her, and they got married. And then this boy was also suffering from other things, and then he started beating her up, and all that started happening. But the thing is, what made you get attracted to this thing? That was not attractive, but you were still attracted to that fellow because you were in very low consciousness. So when you are in very low consciousness, you can't even see what is what. I'm not saying that you don't get married to somebody who has vision impairment. But what I'm saying is, you can't see that somebody is visually impaired. Why? Because you are blind. Even with these two eyes, you can't see anything. So if you make an informed choice, that's good enough. So whatever you are making a choice, so everybody is entitled to their choices, and choices are good, and there is no problem with making any choice you want, but let it be a choice. But if you are in very low consciousness, you can't even see what is what, and then you keep blaming the other person for deceiving you and not telling you the truth. But the thing is, if you're so blind enough you can't see what is pretty obvious to the eyes, then why should somebody come and tell you the truth? So this is the thing with this low consciousness, that everything looks attractive. You feel like any person who comes across, you feel like, okay, this person will make my life better. You don't even look at what quality of life that person has created for themselves, and how you are going with this idea that this fellow who can't take care of his own life will make my life better. But in low consciousness, you are so desperate for I don't know, love or peace or joy, that you take to anything and everything, and then you suffer. So Baba says that this is how you operate when you are in low spiritual strength. And you see, if you are greedy, I'll tell you one thing. If you're greedy, there was this, when I was little, I saw this firsthand, that there was this shop that my father's friend had opened, and he wanted there to be sale. So, he, in a new shop, you want sales to come in. But for 3 days, there was practically no sale. And then, there was this person who entered, and it was a jewelry shop. And this person entered, and this person looked very frugal, and he looked like he has no money. And that was the time when everything was done in cash, and you could figure out that this person has no money. But still, this uncle of mine was so desperate that he laid bare all the things before him, and he suddenly stole something. He tricked that fellow, and he stole things from the shop, and he went away. So that was a whole incident that I witnessed. And after he went away, this uncle realized that okay, this he had been cheated, and he told me that from experience I can discern a cheat from a buyer, but I was so blinded by greed that I couldn't figure out this is a cheat and not a customer. So you see that this is how you get attracted. This is how, anything can deceive you by just putting on a face of, whatever you are attracted to. And this is how Maya tricks us when we are not in our spiritual power. So Baba says it is very important that we practice to be self-sovereigns. And I understand that the original design of the soul is to be a master of the body and master of the senses, but now our consciousness is all over the place. So it's not here, it's all over the place, and then you have to pull your consciousness here. And how do you do that? By having yoga with the one above, so that he pulls your consciousness higher. So every time you listen to Baba, you follow Srimad, you have yoga with Baba, that is how you're raising your consciousness. And then, there is another thing called fear. So you see that when you are not a self-sovereign and you are in low consciousness, then anything that happens on the outside grips you in fear. And what happens in fear is, you see that if there is a challenge, what do? You deal with the challenge by appropriately responding to it. Correct? But when fear takes over, you cannot respond to it appropriately. So, fear paralyzes you. Fear paralyzes the buddhi, fear paralyzes the mind, fear paralyzes the body also. And you are not in a position to come up with a solution and come up with the strength to execute that solution and deal with it. So the thing is, Maya also comes in the form of fear when you are not a self-sovereign. So let's say, so Baba says that if you do not consider yourself to be a master of the body, and then somebody comes and threatens you, and I will give you one example. So there was this brother, he's a BK, and he has been practicing soul consciousness for very long. And in today's Murli also Baba says that you have to be fearless. So you know that you are a soul, so come what may, you cannot die. So when you cannot die, what is there to fear, right? So when you have no fear, you face. Yes, there is nothing else you do. When you have no fear, you face everything that comes your way. So there is this BK brother, and he has been practicing soul consciousness for very long, and he runs a factory, and that factory is in an area where there are a lot of these what do you call, these people who are poor people who are not happy with capitalism. So these poor people, they are not happy with the rich people, and they have animosity with the rich people there, and they tend to attack them very often. So it's a tribal belt, and they tend to attack the rich very often. So what happened is, he was once in his factory late in the night, and almost everybody had left and he was alone. And then there was a group of these people, these natives, and they barged into the factory, and they started threatening this person, and they were pulling guns at him, and they said, we will shoot you. And then this fellow, this brother, because he was practicing soul consciousness and he was a self sovereign, so he thought in that moment, I am anyways going to die. So, what makes me keep quiet? Let me talk to them. So, he asked them, what do you want? Why do you want to kill me? So these people said that you people are getting richer and richer at our expense, and we are the poor natives and we are not getting anything, and we hate you and we want to kill you. And then this person said, okay, even if you kill me, are you going to get richer? So I will die rich and you will live poor. So that doesn't change what you want, right? So let me give you an offer. So he said that you people, I see that you are very brave, and you can work with guns and sticks and everything. So I give you an offer. My trucks go for delivery, and my trucks need to be protected on the way. So I will give 50,000 per person to be employed in those trucks as someone who will ensure safety. And you people go with my trucks, and then you people man the trucks, and then the goods will be delivered, and you will get every per delivery you will be getting so much money, and I will employ you for the rest of my life, and this is my offer to you. If you don't like it, you kill me. So then these people, they made a group, and they said, okay, we will get back to you, and they left. So you see that it is when you are fearless, you are not paralyzed by fear, that your buddhi works, your mind works, and even your body works. Because you see, even when there is an accident, if you look at most accidents, what happens is, when there is somebody who is trying to stab you, or there's a train coming, or there's a bus coming and hitting you, what happens is you freeze. Your body freezes at that time. Otherwise, even 1 second is enough to run. So, you could avoid any accident, you could avoid anything if you had the physical strength and the mental, emotional strength at that time. But fear paralyzes you. But the more you practice being a soul and being a self sovereign, then you know that this is just a body, and I am going to live despite this body getting killed. So let me respond appropriately. And this is how you can win over Maya, which comes in the form of fear. And I will tell you one very personal, very interesting incident. So there was this sister, she's a doctor, and she undertook the course, and then she had very deep faith in Gyan and Baba very early. And she got connected at a time when there were no Zoom classes also. But she was living abroad, and she used to connect with me over WhatsApp and Skype and this and that. And she would just, she would just be on her journey without a lot of sustenance also. And then there is one time I asked her, how do you have such deep faith in knowledge? So she said, I know this is the truth. So I said, how do you know that? I want to know from your experience. So she said, sister, I've been a very good student. So whatever I'm taught, I practice. That's my sanskar. So what happened is, when you gave me the chapter on soul, I started practicing. I'm a soul, I'm separate from the body. I would sit hours together and just, be a soul. And then there was this incident in my hospital that I was climbing down the stairs and my leg slipped. And when I slipped, it was a whole flight of stairs and I had to go down that. But in that moment, I thought, I'm anyways going to fall. So let me choose what angle to fall on. So I just thought, and think about it, she's falling. So how much time does it take? But she was not paralyzed by fear. So she thought, let me choose the angle on which I fall. And she said that because I've done some physical training in my youth, so I could choose a very good angle. And then I landed there and I was not hurt even this bit. And then I got up and went to my cabin and I was feeling so happy. And she said that had it been another incident, I would know how to avoid it but couldn't do it because I would be overtaken by fear. But the soul consciousness helped me. So then I started practicing. Of course, I started understanding Baba after a few months, but I understood the soul and then I went transitioned into the next step. And then I started understanding Baba and how Baba is really the Almighty and how, with Baba I'm the Master Almighty. I started understanding all of that. So Baba says, if you are a self-sovereign and you're only attracted to Baba, not giving in to the pulse of Maya, the fears of Maya, then you will always stay safe. Okay?